Very warm welcome to all of you to Women Economic Forum 2016. Our today's session is New Horizon for Humans Voyage on Earth, and this will be conducted by Dr. Alia R. Rafia and Dr. Beltaji. So we can start our session from right now. I would like to invite Dr. Beltagi. Oh, okay, she is speaking first. Okay, sorry. I would like to invite Dr. Alia Rafia. Please, ma'am, come and share your thoughts.
Thank you very much, and thank you for everyone who is here. And I'd like just to say how happy I was when I heard her being talking today, because she echoes, I think, every word that we would like to say. That's we have hope. And from her there, I think I will take my talk about a new horizon. Actually, what I'm going to talk about is, first of all, that we should fill our hearts with hope. Second, what is the limitations of our set mind in the modern and postmodern era, and how we can conquer or get over this kind of limitation. First of all, let us see why it is limitation. But I prepared my talk, and I put a lot of effort in just phrasing everything. So excuse me if I'm going to read, because of course I wish I could say everything from my heart, and that's what I'm always doing. But it's because of the importance of this meeting, then I was preparing too hard. So that's why I'm going to read, but I'm going to read slowly. It's like just talking, I hope. I think there are good reasons for suggesting that we are going through a transitional period. New meanings are gradually unfolding from the ongoing changes worldwide. And I can perceive a new horizon for our human voyage. I can really perceive new horizon on our human voyage. From the depths of the darkness emerges light. The dawn shows itself, and the sun gradually fills the space with its light. We live an era where real challenges are threatening life on this earth. Meanwhile, we are witnessing the spiritual uplift and the consciousness shift. We are experiencing a turning point, a transformative phase where the emergence of the feminine is bringing balance to the world. This moment in our history is very significant because we need to change our mindset that has been constructed through the last 2 centuries. We have become imprisoned in one dimension of life and lost our direction as human beings. Fortunately, more and more awareness is making its way to us, and new sciences seem to emerge with different premises and promises. First, we need to be aware of the limitations of the modern and postmodern era. The modern era, classical modern science, deal with the limited dimension of organized order of the universe. It sailed on the surface and formed a dogma of its own. It presumes that everything known by our intellect alone the positivist approach further cancelled the gap between epistemology, what we know, and ontology, the existence of something out there, assuming that knowledge and reality are one and the same thing. Moreover, spirituality, divinity, and other metaphysical experiences were sidelined and ridiculed. With the rise of modernity, we perceive the universe with all its magnificent energy as a lifeless, huge machine, and reduce the complexity of the relationship between natural phenomena to a shallow relationship of cause and effect. With the growth of the classical scientific methods, humans gradually denied their transcendental nature, perceiving themselves as mortal beings whose spirit and emotions are manifestation of their physical existence, no more. As such, humans fail to relate to their inner selves and divorce themselves from the energy of life in the whole cosmos. It has been an era where humans became prey to spiritually destructive values and ruined their self-image as honorable creatures. As a result, the 20th century witnessed 2 world wars, the killing of millions of people. Until now, we are suffering from regional conflicts almost everywhere on the globe. In search for a stable ground, religious dogma has had the suitable environment to grow, and postmodernism prevailed to counter certitude, fundamentalism, and prejudice. At first glance, postmodernism seems to reject epistemic certainty, negates human ability to reach absolute reality, and stresses relativity. However, emphasis on absolute relativism and the stress on the particularity of each culture is another way of absolutism, which would hinder any common ground for communication. Following this paradigm would lead humankind to the abyss of loss, isolation, and disintegration. Our ancestors did not have the knowledge about the world which we have, but they were able to communicate with nature and see the unifying element in nature. We have lost this ability, and with it, lost the meaning of life. Life without meaning leads to self-destruction and world destruction. Despite this overwhelming darkness, I can see the glimpses of light and a new horizon in our voyage on Earth. Gathering women in this forum, for example, as well as in other forums, enhances the growing awareness of the spiritual dimension of life around the world. This is a promising phenomenon. These growing movements respond to the increasing needs of humankind search for meaning. Now we are about to build a new paradigm. A new paradigm has started to emerge, removing the previous models of dichotomizing the world into opposites and breaking barriers between nations and civilizations. In this new paradigm, the existence of the transcendental order does not contradict with its inherited nature within the universe. It is an all-encompassing order, yet it resides in our human hearts. It's unknowable, yet present through spiritual experiences. This is an old paradigm, which is being revived today in new dimensions that fit with the ever-growing knowledge about ourselves and the universe. For example, the School of Critical Realism introduces the term meta-reality to denote an undefined, non-attainable reality. This school distinguishes between knowledge as a human experience that's ever-growing in search for meaning and interpretation, with the realization that humans need to critically reconsider their knowledge. This approach rejuvenates the intellectual and spiritual freshness in our souls and they create an authentic wonder which always lead to the advancement in all fields of knowledge, whether scientific, religious, or spiritual. Critical realism combines spirituality with critical thinking and emphasizes the need to question our knowledge endlessly and to keep seeking reality indefinitely. Unlike postmodernism, which asserts absolute relativism and uncertainty, critical realism differentiates between ontology and epistemology. On the epistemological level, humans will never reach absolute reality They constantly need to examine and re-examine their knowledge. This path of continuous reflection makes the life worth living. On ontological level, humans share universal tendency as represented in search for meaning of life. It is because of that pioneers in various fields, prophets, spiritual teachers, did not stop to wonder and to look critically to human achievements. They created shifts in science and the cultural dogma. In the very process of expanding our knowledge lie the heart of spirituality. In the very process of expanding our knowledge lies the heart of spirituality. This new paradigm has been developed gradually through fields that seemingly appear to be afar from culture, spiritual, or intellectual realms. Einstein's theory of relativity shook the premises of scientific methods of his time, brought another dimension, another way of understanding of our human existence. His conclusions paved the way for intellectuals, philosophers, and spiritualists to reconsider some of the taking for granted religious concepts, such as envisioning the conflict between body and soul as means of purification. The new vision of purification focuses on the process of achieving peace from within through the reconciliation between our desire as human and our spiritual needs. The quantum mechanics in the field of physics reveals a non-comprehensible interconnectedness between the observer and the observed. And it introduces new understanding of human nature relationship and emphasizes their interconnectedness. This new understanding has its impact on thinkers, philosophers, as well historians, anthropologists, and sociologists. In the last book he published before his death, the spiritual culture historian Thomas Berry said, I quote, he said that if we ever hope of saving the world from the incoming environmental crisis, we have to be aware of our interconnectedness with all the creature and respect nature. It is amazing that Jungian psychology reveals our interconnectedness from another perspective. Through his study of history, mythology, and his own life and dreams, Jung came to the conclusion that we have shared archetypes on the level of our deep unconsciousness. That means humans are connected to each other on the subconscious level, and they share together the known and the unknown past experiences. He believed that the past lives in our present. Once we grasp this awareness, the past lives in the present, then we can live the present as part of the future.